tricky total? What tricky total are we talking about? We all thought 152 could be a kind of a close game. What close game? I don't know what is happening, because the score line reads 156 for no loss. Yashasvi Jaiswal with 93, Shubman Gill with 58, and because of that, 175 strike rate, 149 strike rate, it's ensured India have not only thrashed Zimbabwe by 10 wickets,
but they have also taken an unassailable 3-1 lead in the series.
I mean, what was all that about? I mean, 152, 40 runs under par, looks like it. 40, even 50 runs under par. Yashasvi Jaiswal and Shubman Gill, I mean, if you look at their combined thing, they hit 64 runs. Yashasvi Jaiswal out was 93.
Yeah.
I mean, bad in maths. 13 into 4 is 52, right?
Yeah.
And
you're not that bad.
12. And no, I've got accusations that I'm bad in maths.
So
6 and 2. So you got 36 out of 58 in boundaries. So 100 runs in boundaries alone out of 152. So man, oh man, it's really a wonderful, wonderful thing that you've seen. I think, can you call this the perfect game for India?
Absolutely. You look at the bowling department, obviously we were feeling that Zimbabwe have probably got a few runs extra because of the sluggish nature of wicket that was being discussed at the toss also. But I think this batting performance by Jaiswal and Gill, takes me back to the first T20 of the series. India not only missed Jaiswal, but India missed the attacker Jaiswal. That's the point. I think it's all in the mind. After India were bundled out for 102 in their pursuit of 116 in the first match, I think there weren't any demons in the pitch. They were, more often than not, they were rash shots. There wasn't any support for Gill. And look at the way I think Jaiswal has played. Had he, played that opening T20I, I'm sure the scoreline would have read 4-0.
4-0. But before we come to the nitty-gritties of the game, what is it with Jaiswal's hairstyle here? What has he done to his hair?
It's like a good schoolboyish hairstyle.
I mean, he's gone back to 8th grade or 9th grade if you look at it.
You should not be commenting on hairstyles.
Why?
Yeah. Because you have the best haircut of all time, or the best hairstyle of all time.
You don't know my hair. Have a really long story to it. Even before you were here, when I was very new, my hair were a really big. I wasn't allowed.
See,
his hair
was so good we couldn't see his kismat. That is how bad it was.
Oh my God. You know what? In the beginning, I did not have a few offs and all of that. It was during the World Cup. You used to have just one off at that point, so I wasn't getting time to go for a haircut. So I wasn't allowed for at least a week to come on camera because my hair was so
he changed his hairstyle. India's fortunes changed.
See, I changed my hairstyle ever since.
Exactly, after the thing and all that. But somebody should do that to you and Yashasvi Jaiswal. What is that hairstyle here? I mean, I find it okay. I am also no style icon. I'm not Mr. India or Mr. Universe to comment on anybody's style.
Please, you have to correct him.
Sidvi sir.
Please.
See, I cannot. See, you know what? We don't have Pawan today, but otherwise, we would have definitely showed your picture of your younger days when you looked like no less than an actor.
Oh man, honestly, see, in my younger days,
I'm pretty sure in your younger days, a lot of girls would be, after you and all of that.
So please,
I'm pretty sure about
let's not get into that.
I am pretty sure.
I have family watching this.
So what? We are not saying that girls are not after you now. I'm saying in your younger days, girls would have been after you.
I think we can cancel the stream and start something afresh. My family would not want to be seeing this statement at this point in time. But see, forget that aside. I think we saw it when he met the Prime Minister also.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a very weird thing. This is not the Yashasvi Jaiswal that we knew. I think either he didn't have time to change his hairstyle, or I think he's going to maintain this hairstyle. So, but barring that, let's come to
when something has really worked for you over a period, like, he might have had the same hairstyle when India were winning. So he probably has thought that, he's going to continue in similar fashion.
Can you think of any other Indian cricketer who had that kind of a very unique hairstyle that what Yashasvi's got?
It's like a basic haircut you have in 5th, 6th grade when your parents get your haircut done and they set your hair when you go to school.
At that time I used to have a military cut.
Mushroom cut, you mean?
Military cut.
Yeah. Okay. So, see, look at what the host broadcasters are showing that photo, and look at the photo that's in Harare. Zameen Asman ka farak hai yaar. So that's why.
There's a little bit of, not even little bit of, there's a lot of, the hair wax or a hair gel has been applied.
Exactly. But jokes aside, I mean, we are not passing any judgment on Yashasvi Jaiswal's looks. We haven't said anything derogatory also, Yashasvi.
And nor we are, saying anything bad about the fact that you were a lot famous in your younger days.
I saw that picture you posted that day on your story with that stubble. I think you should keep it again.
Yes,
really
luckily you're treading on very thin ice. I will send you home at this point. So,
Do I look feared?
No.
No. Do I look scared?
Under he's
Gulati sir himself is no less. He's just being modest at this point.
yeah, he's if he's modest, I'm the Pope at this point in time. So, yeah. So Yashasvi Jaiswal, looking at it, look at the range of strokes that he had.
No doubt.
Attacking, aggressive. Shubman Gill was beaten on certain occasions. I think Chatara troubled him a bit, but then
even Muzarabani troubled him.
But then that's why 58 of 39. But I think today you will take this. 148.7 strike rate. Jaiswal on a different level altogether. I mean, the short balls were targeted his body. I think he is one of the best cross-batted players that we have amongst this modern era that has come up in Indian cricket from the under-19 thing.
Pant and Rishabh Pant to an extent.
Pant sometimes miscues a pull shot. Sometimes. Because sometimes the top edge he can get it because of the way how he tries to hit the ball so hard.
Yeah.
With Yashasvi, that doesn't seem to be the case.
It's with Rishabh Pant, it's more about, smashing the ball, and it's more about generating the power and the bat swing. With Jaiswal, I feel it's more about the timing and playing on the line of the ball.
But I think one of the most important factors that was witnessed in India's dominating win now was that it wasn't about Yashasvi Jaiswal getting to the 3-figure mark. It was about team getting the job done as soon as possible. Jaiswal had a good chance of, getting to that century, but Gill made sure that, okay, we are going to play for the team here. Let's just try to finish the game as soon as possible. You are going to get your chance whenever you face those balls when you are going to be on strike. If you can manage to hit them for those big sixes or the boundaries, it's great. If not, we are pushing for the win. It's not about the individual milestones, it's about the team. And that is what was seen.
Okay, are you channeling your Rohit Sharma?
No, I'm just talking what I have witnessed of this Indian team in the past 1.5 months.
Because that is the same thing that Rohit Sharma had said.
And that is what it has been on display also. Case in point, Rohit Sharma 92 Australia.
Exactly. So this team doesn't play for milestones. All they say, Jaiswal deserved 100. Shubman Gill denied him. I'm pretty much sure that conversation will be going around somewhere. But I hope that isn't the case because today both batted with brilliance. Shubman Gill, yes, struggled a bit, but I think that's expected. He's always been a slow starter, Shubman Gill. Then he picks up later. Yashasvi Jaiswal, left and right combination. See, as you said, Jaiswal picks himself for the Sri Lanka tour, which by the way, we have done an update that the tour dates have been revised yet again. 26th.
No, there is news that has just come in that Delhi Capitals has posted. Thank you, Ricky. So it is official now that Ricky Ponting has moved on and would not be the captain, the coach of Delhi Capitals anymore.
Okay. So
just a few minutes after we broke this, you would have seen that video.
Exactly. But then see, that is not because, look, what has happened in the Ricky Ponting thing is his contract was done.
Yeah.
By 2024, his 7-year contract has been done. He was, I think, there from 2018 onwards, right? 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So 7 years, his contract is over. Okay. Now, management will take the decision as to what needs to be there. So that's why I think, yes, it was there that whether he will go at this point in time, it remains to be seen. Officially, who will take over Delhi Capitals? Management will decide at this point. So yeah, that's one good news that has come. I think anyway he was treading on thin ice anyway, Ricky Ponting.
Because Delhi didn't do really well in the past 3 seasons. In 2022, I remember they finished 5th. Then in 2023, when Pant was not there, they were in the bottom half of the table. I think 9th or 10th, if I'm not wrong.
No, they didn't get the wooden spoon, I'm sure.
They didn't get the wooden spoon, but I think around 8 or 9, I think was their position. And in 2024, this year, they were around 5th.
Yeah, I think 5th. 6th, they finished 6th, 5th.
Yeah.
But I think the peak time for Delhi Capitals with Ricky Ponting was 21-22. as
Yeah.
far. Yeah.
Even 2019, 2020. 2019 was
From
third
2019 to
position.
2021.
20 was, 2020 was
2019 to
final.
2021. Yeah, once
Yes.
season they played the final, one
Second
season they-
qualifier,
yeah,
final,
yeah.
and now they played. I think they got not only the eliminator, if I'm not mistaken, 21 or qualifier.
No, qualifier. KKR.
Qualifier.
They needed
KKR.
run a ball, and KKR sort of botched it up.
Yes.
And they almost bottled, but then Rahul Tripathi hit Ashwin.
Ashwin for a
Yes,
six, yes, 21.
yes, yes.
I can
So
never
those,
forget those moments.
so those 3 years they were pretty good in that sense. So
Yeah.
that is why it is going to be a really, really big thing that's happening. So kudos to Ponting. Anyway, you're looking past him, so that is why. Let's see if it is really good. So coming back to this game. I had asked Siddharth Gulati, is this the perfect game? What do you think? Was this the perfect game for India?
Perfect game. See, again, in those sense, yeah, you can call it perfect, but again, you did not, I wouldn't call it the perfect game in those senses. I'd say that it was, about 60-70% because you did not see the rest of the batting lineup. If a wicket would have fallen early, you did not know how you would have gone about the chase and all of that. So I did not get a glimpses of the other batters, and Abhishek Sharma at number 3, wanted to see him more, wanted him to, get that opportunity because very few opportunities he's going to get before he actually establishes himself. So yeah, 60-70%, and all that credit goes to Shubman.
We are pretty
Yashasvi.
tough as a fan base. A 10-wicket win, yet it isn't a perfect game. I mean, I don't know then what constitutes a perfect game. Because it's a 10-wicket win, you haven't lost any wickets in a chase of 156. First match, 115 you couldn't chase. Here you chased on 156.
In
that
15
shows
overs.
in 15 overs, 15.2. So that's why I'm wondering what more do you want? And tomorrow is the final T20I. Anyway, the series is done. It's 3-1.
Yeah.
So the fifth match is just a formality that you have to do at this point. So you may see more changes there also. But then see,
Possibly.
today I was seeing Yashasvi's stroke play offside. I mean, I can imagine the range of shots. He comes down the track, he blasts it through extra cover, then he inside out, he lofts it over extra cover, square cut, he does all of this. Which batsman does he remind you of? Many people say he's like Ganguly. No, I don't think so. Ganguly didn't have brute power. He had sublime timing. But he is a different breed altogether when you look at it. A mixture of maybe Ganguly and Shikhar Dhawan. Because even Shikhar Dhawan, he didn't have brute force. He used to caress and time the ball.
Sky?
No, left-handers.
No,
Left-handers.
I'm just talking about the batting style. No, you know why why Sky is the first thing that came in my head. See, Surya Kumar Yadav, I remember before coming to Mumbai Indians and after coming to Mumbai Indians, was a very different player. By the time he actually arrived for India in T20Is in the IPL, till that point he had played a lot of domestic cricket, lot of IPL, and then he sort of changed his game in those senses, and then he knew how to go about his game and all of that. For in the same sense, Yashasvi Jaiswal is somebody who has risen up the ranks since the beginning of his career. He was really young since he has had the news all about him in age group cricket, then for under 19 India. But he very well, and then few years back you could not have imagined Yashasvi Jaiswal to play at this pace which he plays now. But he changed himself according to what was needed. So in those senses, I think a little like Surya Kumar Yadav, that you completely changed your game 180 degrees to actually become like be playing according to the modern era.
Yep.
Okay.
What about you?
But I think it's very difficult to pick any of the batters that he pretty much resembles to as far as Jaiswal's game is concerned. As Shashwat was making his point, I was thinking about the left-handed batters that we are currently witnessing or we have witnessed in the past. I was just thinking about maybe Devon Conway, a bit of Devon Conway is there, maybe a bit of Chris Gayle is also there. If that is to be concerned, there's not just a mixture of one or two players. I think Jaiswal is basically a combination of many left-handers, to be very honest, because he's not just restricted to that power game. He can also just hang in there if that is required. But we can't really say the same for maybe Chris Gayle or maybe Devon Conway. Obviously, he's a different batter altogether. But maybe in case of any of the left-handers, I can't really remember any of the other names. But yeah, he's a combination of 2 or 3 left-hander, more than 3-4 left-hander batters combined.
I'm struggling to pinpoint which batsman does he actually have. I think Yashasvi Jaiswal is Yashasvi Jaiswal.
Yeah.
I mean, he's had a great start to all formats when you look at it. I mean, IPL, he had one half season was bad, other half was good. One season was a breakthrough for him. Test matches, he didn't have a good start in the South Africa series, but then in the England series, man, what a comeback that was. ODIs also, T20Is, he could have had a second 100, but he couldn't get there. So, it's been a great start for
First
Yashasvi.
one was Australia, right? Was versus Australia.
I think so. I have to check. I mean, there's been so much cricket happening. I really don't know. Against whom did he score?
First test 100.
First 100.
100.
T20.
T20I.
T20I.
I think that was in the Asian Games, if I'm not wrong.
Could be.
Yes, it was. It was. It was in the
Yeah,
Asian Games.
Could be. But
Yeah.
something that really stands out about Yashasvi Jaiswal and why I personally like him a lot, that he uses his feet really well against spin.
Yes.
And that is something we haven't seen since a very long time as far as modern era batters are also concerned. Shubman Gill,
Against Nepal in Asian Games.
Nepal, of course.
But even Shubman Gill, in the beginning of his career, used to use his feet against spinners a lot. Now I think it has reduced a bit, and a lot of times I personally feel this, that when a batter, like the English batters, use the sweep a lot when they are in England, when they are in India, and I feel that you only use the sweep so often when you cannot understand and anticipate the line, the length, and which way it's going to turn. Same way, when you're using your feet, that just makes you more assured and keeps the bowler thinking also. That also means that you're already anticipating what the bowler is going to do, and when you're using your feet so often, there is no right length for the bowler to bowl, and then that just keeps the bowler actually guessing. We talk about this fact a lot of times, that you do not have to let the spinner actually settle in. You do not have to give the spinner the time to set his line and lengths. That is what you counter as soon as you start using your feet, and that is something that Yashasvi Jaiswal in this modern era really nicely does.
Yeah, I think he plays all. I think he's got a slight susceptibility against the short ball away. Maybe that is
And
only
even against the swing bowling too. That was very clearly visible in that South Africa series.
Yeah, but then apart from that, see, here also it was slightly sluggish conditions in Harare, but I think he managed well. Maybe the bowling lineup wasn't of that quality as you may look at it either in South Africa or in Australia at this point. See, his major test is going to be against Australia when they go down under, so maybe the extra pace and bounce might trouble him.
But that might just be helpful for both him and Gill.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's why Gill, we saw what he can do in Australia, but for Yashasvi also, I feel that Australia could be, that place where he actually arrives in Indian cricket.
Yeah.
He has already arrived, but Australia
In overseas conditions,
In overseas conditions, and
specifically.
be a certainty in the India's starting 11 for always. So I think that those conditions could actually help him, because again, I think the pace, the bounce is something that he could use really well.
See, it's the class of 2018 and the class of 2020 combining and getting India into a new direction. This is the direction that we are looking for in a post.
2018-16 to
Khalil.
Rishabh Pant.
Rishabh Pant. But then I'm talking about this current batch.
Yeah.
They're in the top 3 at this
Avesh,
point.
but Avesh also 16.
Yeah.
16, yeah. Abhishek Sharma, I think, was 18. Yeah.
Prithvi Shaw.
Prithvi Shaw time. So the class of 2018 and the class
Riyad
of 2020.
Same batch.
But I'm only saying at this point in the playing 11.
Bishnoi also.
Yeah, so that is why it is a very important step for Indian cricket that these two perform well, because Rohit and Virat are done in T20Is. It's over. Now your next focus is 2026. You are going to play one tomorrow plus 3 against Bangladesh and Sri Lanka. You are also going to play 3 against England, and then it's the IPL.
India basically playing close to 50 or T20Is before the next T20 World Cup.
50, and you're going to play 10 before the Champions Trophy.
Yes.
3 versus England, 3 versus Bangladesh, 3 versus Sri Lanka, 1 now versus Zimbabwe.
And
then
this
you're going to play
6 ODIs before
And
the
only
Champions
6
Trophy.
ODIs, yeah.
Yeah. Out of that, 3 ODIs are going to be done, out of which Virat, Rohit and Bumrah might not be part of.
Yes.
So, and Jaiswal, if you look at it, he's fittingly the player of the match for what he's done. And I don't think anybody else. See, the bowling also today, 2 wickets, 1 wicket, 1 wicket, 1 wicket, all chipped in like a unit at this point. So, quite good. That's why I say this was the perfect game. Everybody chipped in. Yes, you may say 99.9% it was perfect. 1%, 0.1, maybe Rituraj dropping a catch.
Yeah.
The fielding looked a bit sloppy today, but you have to understand, fielders do fielding. Good fielding is needed. If India had not fielded well, they would have not won the World Cup.
Yeah.
Because Surya Kumar's catch, Aksar's catch, good. India, I think, didn't drop that many catches in the T20 World Cup. Australia, because they dropped about 9 or 10, no wonder they didn't win.
See, there are two things that have been heartening to see for Indian cricket team in this T20 series. One is obviously the bowling form of Ravi Bishnoi. He has really moved on from the heartbreak of not being selected for the T20 World Cup, which is a good sign. But this is where I think the selectors, I really hope, they are listening to this, that he deserves his due and he needs to be given an, consistent run, not just in the T20s, but in ODIs also. I think he deserves this place. He should get those more chances so that, India can prepare their backups, not just for the T20Is, but even for the ODIs also, wherein we might need a Ravi Bishnoi for the Champions Trophy, assuming India play their matches in Sri Lanka, or maybe you don't know, what India's
all three venues
are going to be. And second thing is obviously India's I think right approach to have 8 batters, which means that you are relying on your batters, a couple of batters, to get the job done of the 5th bowler. So Abhishek Sharma not just being used as a batter is a good sign, because he has bowled very consistently throughout this series. Even in today's game also he bowled 3 overs, and Shivam Dube, who hardly got a chance to bowl in the T20 World Cup, he bowled just 1 over against USA and went for 11 runs at that. He has also bowled consistently in the 2 T20Is he has played. So that's, I think, a good sign that it's giving India that cushion or the luxury to play 8 batters, and that's what has made India the T20 champions, and that's what I think the trend
if
will
Ravindra
continue.
Jadeja is now retired, Aksar will step in, but then the other bowler is
Washington Sundar
or Ravi Bishnoi.
Probably.
No,
depending
I think
upon
it's
the
going to be
conditions that you are
Washington.
playing.
No, it's going to be Washington for that 8th batting.
8th batting mostly. So
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
Ravi Bishnoi continues to sit
And
out
one
there.
name that we are actually not talking about, but he will come into the picture at some point, is Nitish Kumar Reddy. He got injured before this series, else had
But I
that
think
not
his
happened.
chances are done.
I think it's
the
about-
one injury, I think, has ruined his chance.
It's only
No,
that
no,
it's
no.
Shivam
I don't
Dube.
think so.
He can only replace a Shivam Dube in this side.
You never know. See, as long as India can stack their playing 11 with 9 batting options, even if it means that you have an all-rounder batting at number 9, I think India would be fine with it.
But still, I think Nitesh Reddy. See, if Shivam
But
Dube
as a
doesn't
bowler,
have
I pick Nitish Reddy better than Shivam Dube.
Yeah,
At least by
absolutely.
what I've
Quicker.
seen.
Yeah,
He's
he's
quicker.
Quicker and more hitting the right lengths.
He looks a more promising bowler than Dube.
and a better fielder than Shivam Dube. Much
I
better.
think he
because-
just needs to be handled with care, because Nitish Kumar Reddy is not just going to be a T20 player. If he stays fit, he's going to be an all-format player for India.
Well, under Gautam Gambhir, let's see what happens, because now this series is all but over with just one match tomorrow. But then apart from that, the Sri Lanka series will be the start of Gautam Gambhir's new tenure, as you look at it. So
Yeah.
whether the youngsters get a longer rope, whether this core remains, whether the core will change, we all have to understand, because the first chapter is done. The first new window is done at this point. So it's a good start. India continue their dominant run when you look at it in the
T20s.
in the T20. So let's take a few
comments.
comments at this point. So yeah, it's been a perfect game for me, barring those fielding mishaps that happened at this point. So let's just have a look, and yeah, Shashwat, if you can. Yep. So this is the current situation that we are looking at. 3-1, one more game to go. And let's look at the comments that our family members have stated.
Let's just take a look at the fan pending comments.
Yep.
Oh, too many.
Dhanush is saying Gill booked his place in the 2026 T20 World Cup with his innings. Far too early, Dhanush.
Too early
Far
to say.
too early.
Too early, yeah.
See, anything can happen. See, when the Shubman Gill was doing well, he was not selected in the T20 World Cup, because he was suddenly dropped, and then his IPL standards also, he just slipped up by that. So we don't know. With the Indian cricket team, nothing is certain until the very last few months when we are about to approach a tournament.
And I think also the reason that Virat started to open, that also dented his chances in the side, because if Virat would not have been opening, you might have seen him as that backup
Exactly.
option.
Yeah,
Exactly. Ashish Dar watched Lagan yesterday. Guran, Rajesh Vivek playing reverse sweep, switch hit over the keeper may have revolutionized the idea of T20. KP Diddle, of course. I mean, but the original pioneer of all those shots, if you look at it in a very serious way, was actually a Zimbabwean, Douglas Murray.
Douglas Merrill.
Merrill.
Ask Zahir Khan about that.
Ask Zahir Khan about it, ask Glenn McGrath about it. Because even he used to move to the offside and just scoop it to fine leg.
Yes.
That's what Glenn McGrath used to suffer. So that's why, Guran was legendary next level. I mean, 1 6. And then the British had to say, the umpire, you can't do that. Please tell him. So Amir Khan sheepishly has to say, Guran, सिर्फ एक ही बार गेंद को मारो. ठीक है. That's it. That was swag by Guran. But yes,
When he
he's
talked
right.
about Amir Khan, I thought that he's the Bhuvan of sports today.
Yeah.
Bhuvan is, you're Ishmael. Now you're Ismail. And you're Deva.
Oh,
Deva, the opening guy.
Okay.
Yeah, we would need a good solid opening stand, but then he gets run out. So that's the thing. Because we needed you at the most during IPL, but then you got yourself run out. Okay. So that is why. Mr. Shekhar GTN
and I had to make my debut in the eliminators.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mr. Shekhar from the US is saying, good morning all. Legendary chase on a minefield was a menacing bloodthirsty attack. Why is Mr. Shekhar in the morning there be so sarcastic about it? I just don't understand. Where are the celebrations? On a serious note, Jaiswal hasn't lost his touch. Yes, we hope he doesn't lose his touch because he's going to have 4 more T20Is, hopefully, with him.
Dairya has a comment that I don't know what team needs to do to satisfy Shashwat. Is it this comment is for you? Even 10 wicket is not a perfect result for him.
No, it's not about that. For me, no, it's a perfect result. But as far as the perfect game is concerned, I would have wanted all of the batters to come. They did not get the opportunity. So for me, it's not even in that sort of bracket of that perfect
Which
game.
is where it's slightly ironic. If you lose batters at the top, you would have said, oh, the top order is a concern. If the middle order would have come, according to you, if whatever games that you've seen of India, what's the perfect game for you? What has been the perfect game? Whatever you watched of India. What was the perfect game?
You're saying in this series specifically across
formats, any series.
Any series.
Any series, any match. What has been
I think the World Cup semi-final was a perfect game.
But in that also,
There came a period from 14th over until the 17th over when India was batting that they did not really have an upper hand on the game.
And also, New Zealand made you sweat with Mitchell and Williamson actually going hammer and tongs.
No, I'm talking about the T20 World Cup semi-final.
Yeah, there came a period.
After that also, the way you dominated that semi-final and all of that, that's what I think coming back also in a game and all of those situations you get to face in bigger games also. So then coming back and then winning the game. So in such a way, for me, that is a perfect. Everyone can have different perfect games.
I thought whatever we looked at it, I thought the game which
Australia also was
not Australia. Travis Head had you sweating. Travis Head really made you sweat until those last couple of overs. When he got out, that was it.
Yeah, he made us sweat, but India was always on top of the game.
See, I would say my perfect game, if you have to look at it, where there was absolutely nothing. We were assured that, okay, there was no tension. I think it was in this current 6-7 month recency bias, if I look at it. I think it was India versus Bangladesh, Pune, World Cup.
Oh, yeah.
Kohli got to 100, no sweat at all when you were chasing a total. India's bowlers restricted them. Kya tension tha? There was no tension at all. So, Pranit Datta.
Same can probably be said about India versus South Africa Eden Gardens 2023 World Cup. That was a very comprehensive win.
On a tough wicket, yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Indeed. Oh, I would say India Sri Lanka. Mumbai.
Asia Cup.
Asia Cup
and Mumbai also.
That was the perfect game. Siraj 6 wickets. That was the perfect game. Pranit Datta. Jaiswal is a complete batsman. Can attack, spin, pace. His range of shots is exemplary. His consistency reminds you of Gambhir, especially spin play. Oh, yeah. I mean Gambhir.
Yeah, not a bad call.
Not a bad call.
I remember even he used to use his feet really well against spin.
Gambhir was masterful against spin, and of course born and brought up in the Delhi pitches of that time where run scoring was a big problem at this point.
No, but now the wickets here have gotten better.
Thankfully. Priyanshu was saying, tomorrow Abhishek and Rituraj should be given a chance to open and improve their stats. Zimbabwe players are not even moving to stop the ball. Hope Sri Lanka gives some good competition.
I think Sri Lanka are also going through a very tough time. They are going to have a new interim coach in Sanath Jayasuriya. They do not have a T20I captain for the Sri Lanka series because Hasaranga has resigned. Yeah. So, and even Mahila Jayawardene has also quit as their consultant coach. So Sri Lanka are also trying to find out their right combination and a few important members of their support staff.
But their cricket is in a tailspin, unfortunately.
Yeah, even Silverwood has quit.
It's going downhill and I don't see how they will improve at this point. Aditya Kavlekar saying, in India we have wealth of talent. Why do we make players play all three formats? Especially players whose style doesn't suit T20I. We make them play different. Gill can play Test and ODI, Jaiswal and Abhi T20.
Jaiswal is an all-format player.
Okay, Aditya, what is wrong? Suppose if the likes of Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma could have played all three formats. Yes, I agree that for certain countries playing all three formats is not feasible. But for India, we have seen people want to play all three formats. That's their ultimate aim. Your main aim is Test cricket. ODIs maybe because you don't want to play much. Perhaps you can do it, but why can't you play all three formats?
Only thing that has to be managed going ahead as far as players who play all three formats are concerned is their fatigue. That's it. You don't really want them to have that burnout phase wherein they are playing all three formats. Then the IPL also, it's not really feasible because the FTP calendar is very much stacked. So that's where I think the workload will have to be managed. Not maybe in case of say Jaiswal, Gill, who are still looking to assure their place across formats and who are around 23, 24 only. Things can be like, they can play consistently for the next 3, 4, 5 years if they perform well. And then I think it's going to be about the case of managing their workload. So that's the only thing that has to be, that will probably have to be managed going ahead.
Okay, so we are just at the tail end of, we say, it's starting super weekend because tomorrow it's going to be action packed. And in the women's singles in Wimbledon, we are going into the third set. So that's going to be one major update coming up. Mr. Shekhar GTN is saying, apologies to Sidvi for making sarcastic comments. Didn't know you disliked it. From the bench strength, do you feel the pacers are as exciting as the batters?
Yeah.
Too early, I would say, yet again. They have to get a consistent run first.
But all the other pacers I feel have, sort of shown glimpses of course we cannot compare them with the Bumrah and Mohammad Shami because they are once in a generation bowlers. But as far as Khalil and Avesh, Mukesh specifically have shown glimpses. I think they are bowlers who could, again Mukesh also a bowler, all format bowler. I know as far as the pace is concerned, his pace isn't up to the market, but his line length, he's a straight smart bowler. We have seen him do well in the depth also, with the new ball also, in the IPL also we saw how he, for Delhi Capitals he was there with in all the situations. For India in test matches also he has shown. So I think there are good bowlers. Again, you have many more bowlers who are still, somebody like a Mohsin Khan hasn't arrived yet, Mayank Yadav hasn't arrived, Harshit Rana is there. So I think there are a lot of fast bowlers.
I would say get the pool and play them consistently. That is the only way then I can say that the Pacers' bench strength is pretty good, because unless you don't have the consistency, how can you pass judgment on that? So last comment which I'll take is, who's the new T20 Sri Lanka captain? Priyanshu Singh.
Hasaranga has already resigned, as we mentioned, and Charit Asalanka, who was their designated vice captain, he could be their new T20I skipper, but no official announcement has been made yet.
Again.
Maybe.
But then Shanaka's form with the bat has been woeful at this point.
So we don't have an official announcement as of yet.
See, we will come to know about it. The India squad might be announced next week, maybe by Tuesday, Wednesday, by that period. Maybe Sri Lanka squad will also be announced at that point in time. So let's hope that if it happens. But yes, action-packed sports weekend coming up. Wimbledon women's singles final is currently happening. 6-2, 2-6. It's going to be very interesting. And then when you look at it tomorrow, the grand build-up, Euro 2024 final, England-Spain, Copa America final, Argentina versus Colombia, followed by the men's singles, Alcaraz versus Djokovic, part 2, Wimbledon final. Last time it was Alcaraz who pulled out an absolute classic. Will Djokovic make it 25 Grand Slams this time around? So let's see. Thank you so much, folks, for joining us. Subscribe to Sports Today for all the latest news and analysis. We are back with more. This is just beginning. So from me, Shane and Shashwat, from me, Sid and Shashwat, it's bye-bye.
What is he high on?
High on sports, my friend. Bye-bye. Nandri, Vanakkam, Shabba Khair. Eat your vegetables.
And don't trouble your mother.
Bye-bye. Your takya kalam's done.